Hello, today I'm going to be discussing the mathematical model of Bieber fever. So in short, Bieber fever, which is an individual's extreme obsession with Justin Bieber, is a highly infectious disease. In this paper, the model that is used to describe Bieber fever factors in individuals that may be susceptible to Bieber infection, individuals that are already Bieber infected, or individuals that have recovered from Bieber fever. In addition, the absence of media, continuous positive media, and continuous negative media all have different models that are analyzed, and individuals of ages 5 to 17 are taken into account, so over a 12-year span. So I'm going to be focusing on the absence of media, but I will include the continuous positive media and the continuous negative media just for comparison purposes. So these are the equations for the susceptible Bieber-infected and recovered individuals in the absence of media. So the first equation discusses the rate at which people become susceptible. The pi indicates the recruitment rate, which is 10 people per month, and it is subtracted by the transmission rate, which is 8.3 times 10 to the negative 4 times the susceptible people, which is a population value of 1,500, which is the initial population, multiplied by the Bieber-infected people, which is 3 people as an initial value. In addition, that is subtracted by the maturation rate, which is 1 over 144 per month, multiplied by, again, the amount of people that are susceptible, which is 1,500. The rate at which people become Bieber infected is multiplied by the same parameter, beta times S times B, subtracted by the boredom rate, which is 1 over 24 times the Bieber infected people, which is 3 people, subtracted by the maturation rate, again, which is 1 over 144 times the recovered people, which is an initial value of 0. And lastly, the rate at which people recover is the same, is similar to the rate at which they become Bieber infected, just without that first parameter. Here all the parameters are listed along with their values and their symbols. The last 3 parameters, the positive media rate, negative media rate, and positive media proportion, are all part of the continuous positive media and continuous negative equations, which are not obviously in the absence of media. This was the block diagram. As you can see, the graph connects to the terminal connects to the S value and the B value. So this is the phase graph, what you get when you plot that graph. So the x-axis here is the susceptible individuals, and the y-axis is the number of Bieber-infected individuals. And as shown in the graph, most of the graph shows that they are inversely proportional. So the number of susceptible individuals decreases as they become Bieber-infected individuals, and there is a peak of infection, but then only a small amount of individuals remain Bieber-infected, and that's the curve at the bottom. In the time graph, so the x-axis is obviously time, and the y-axis represents like the population. The yellow represents the population of people that are susceptible, and the blue represents Bieber-infected individuals. So as you can see in the Bieber-infected individuals, there is an outbreak of Bieber fever with a peak where almost all of the population is infected, but as time goes on, the outbreak dies down to a lower constant level. In these equations, you can see the continuous positive media equations and the continuous negative media equations. There's a lot more to factor in based on the media, but I just want to focus on the graph. So in the continuous positive media graph, you can see that there is a moderate peak in Bieber-infected individuals and that the infection never really dies out. In the continuous negative media graph, this one's a little more complicated, but there is initial positive media, which leads to Bieber oversaturation, and eventually negative media counteracts the oversaturation, and at around 44 months, the media is constantly negative, and Bieber fever is somewhat eradicated. In conclusion, with an absence of media, there is an initial outbreak of Bieber fever, but it dies down to a lower, more constant level. With continuous positive media coverage, Bieber fever doesn't die out, and with continuous negative media coverage, Bieber fever is eventually eradicated after 44 months. And despite all of these, there will always be an outbreak of Bieber fever, even with no initial infection. This is the paper that I was analyzing, and it is a very interesting read. Thank you.